evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to your essential Wednesday night viewing here at SOP HQ. It is, of course, the Grid Finder sponsored SOP Motorsport British GT Championship. And yes, I can see there is a massive SOP in the top corner of the screen. Not sure how that got there. We will investigate. But we are here for round 2 of the British GT Championships on PC. 20 of SOP's finest drivers lining up here for a 60-minute race at Donington Park. We were at Oulton Park last week, and it is the turn of Donington this week, and it is the turn once again of SOP's favourite, much to the dismay of Simon, their favourite founding father, SOP's very own Curly Red. It is Bailey joining me tonight. How we doing, Bailey?
Very, very good, John. How are you?
Yeah, very, very good, mate. Very, very good indeed. We are, as I say, live from Donington. It is round 2 of the Grid Finder sponsored British GT Championship. This evening it is Bailey and I that are leading the charge. Let me just do this. There we go. And if anyone hasn't heard, I do have a new PC, so we are broadcasting. All brand new, all singing and all dancing this evening. So it may take me a little bit of time to get used to some of these really beautiful transitions. But there you go on the screen now. There's some of the guys getting some qualifying done as we speak. As I said, it is John Wright and Bailey Smith joining you in the commentary box this evening. We are here for Donington Park, an absolute legend of a track amongst the British driving fraternity. And as I mentioned, we are here this evening for the British GT Championship, sponsored by Grid Finder. Bailey, it's round 2. We had an absolutely cracking round 1 last week. We've got 23 drivers, I believe, for the race this evening, so it's promising to be another cracker.
It is, and that's what excites me the most about these races. That I think is a guaranteed cracker. I think we should call it. We'll stick to that, cracker.
Yes.
These tracks, they're all made for racing, and I think what better than have it sponsored by. Best of all, we got these drivers who are the best of the best, really, aren't they, on the PC platform?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened there, Bailey, but just as you mentioned our sponsors, Grid Finder, your microphone cut out there. Of course, Grid Finder is the easiest way to find online sim racing leagues for a set of course of competition, iRacing, F1 and Race Factor 2, R Factor 2 in fact, and many more racing sims and games alike. You can find leagues in the UK, the USA and Australia, and many more. So head to gridfinder.com where you'll find ourselves, SOP Motorsport, as well as many more. Alternatively, if you have a league or a community yourself and you're watching this, get yourself signed up on the site and join the other 1,000 leagues currently registered. Grid Finder, find your place on the grid. So they are indeed sponsoring us this evening, and there is Ian Egan on the stream. It is round 2, as I said. We have a 7-week competition to bring you. We've got Brands Hatch for our next outing, and then the track of all tracks. It's a 120-minute race around Spa. Then we're back to Donington, followed by Snetterton, and then we're rounding it off with a 90-minute cracker. It's not 70 minutes, it's round 7. So it will be a 90-minute cracker, and that, Bailey, is going to be at Silverstone.
Yes.
Which is going to be amazing. Why is
how
that?
many times? I was going to say, how many times have I said these tracks are my favourite tracks? But I think Silverstone is my favourite track. I think, although I do like Donington quite a bit.
Well, yes. They're certainly entertaining. This is the thing, Bailey. It's very easy for us because we rock up here and we think, yeah, these tracks are great. They're good to drive. Yeah. But then some of them are even better to spectate, and Donington certainly promises to bring us some absolutely fantastic entertainment this evening, along with these drivers. I mean, tonight we have TSR Wake, of course, Sam Sue joining us. We've got Oscar Sarista joining us. Wojciech Nyworth is joining us. AJ to the P. I wonder what colour his car will be this evening. Oh, look,
I wonder.
Racing. Stefan Van Hal, of course, he will be joining us this evening as well in his Ferrari. We've got Harry Phillips, we've got King McGee, we've got Ian Egan joining us. We've got Kenny Millard, some absolutely cracking names. Philip Babalul will be in there and well, and so will Hubert Simonansky. Found himself falling foul of the stewards last week, so he'll be looking to put that right. We've not got many guys out on track for qualifying, so we'll stick with Ian Egan at the minute. As we said, it is a 7-week championship, and the top 24 drivers all scored points, which led to King McGee. He took first place in the last race, so he is the current championship leader after the first round on 35 points. Oscar Saristo, as I mentioned, he is in second place, 30 points, and it was no coincidence I mentioned Sam Su too, because he is in third place, having taken a podium last week. So it was Porsche, Bentley last week. Given the way this track lines up, Bailey, I don't imagine we'll see the Bentleys pushing too far at the front.
No, I think you can correct me on this, but this to me seems like a Porsche track. But yet again, you can't just put it down to the car. We have to remember these drivers. They've all chosen these cars for a particular reason. It's you can't change them throughout the season, so these drivers are stuck to these cars and they know how to drive them. So if they think that they're comfortable in a car, and hopefully they've chosen a car they think they're comfortable at all tracks. But saying that, you never know. You could have a few drivers that say, for example, they don't think that the car they've chosen is good for one track, such as Donington. They might take this as a miss, but you never know. Racing happens, and you never know. You could find yourself up there in the top 10 if you be patient and do the best things for you in the race. But yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll certainly see how it plays out. We've got the final qualifying on screen. We also had some of the in-game chat on the screen, which means I'm going to get a rap on the knuckles from Simon at some point very soon, because I did promise him that wouldn't happen. But there we go, new technology, new goals. So we'll have a look though. Simon Ansky, I did mention him in the build-up there during qualifying, and he did purple sector 2 and took the overall pole position, with Philip Babalul then taking second position and Camilio taking third place. So I did mention that the Bentleys might struggle around here, and the first Bentley we see is King McGee, championship leader. He is in 5th position for tonight's race, but only half a second off the lead, Bailey. I mean, as we look down there, Bailey, the top 13 separated by 9/10 of a second from a field this big. That is some absolutely cracking timing from these guys. In fact, there are some guys slower down, but we have got, I mean, the top 18 a second, 1.3 seconds, Bailey. That's some phenomenal times put in by these guys.
Yeah, that is extremely close. And you got to remember that this is qualifying. It's not as important as, of course, it sets the grid, and we've got a rolling start, which is 2x2. So I was expecting you to say hurrah then.
I was going to go for the joke, but I'm furiously trying to queue up the next overlay, Bailey.
Oh,
you're
no
ruining
problem.
my flow there. Come on, kid.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yeah, obviously these drivers, they're all fast, aren't they? So someone we always point at with a finger is Alex Phillips. Says he's not qualifying isn't his strong point, but it's the pace in the race, and we see that a lot with Alex Phillips. He's in 9th, which isn't bad. It's not a terrible place to start, but it's in the race, and you got to remember this track they're all very tight tracks. These British circuits. So it'll be interesting to see, and that's what I'm most excited for. I'd say is to see how the drivers adapt now to being we've raced at Alton Park, which is a very tricky track, and now we've gone to another tricky track, Donington. So yeah, I'm very excited to see how. And
it's only Brands Hatch and Spa next week, so the guys are getting off the.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait a second. Did someone say Pilgrims drop? I think they did. So yeah, we're definitely keeping them on their toes and bringing the entertainment.
Precisely.
For the guys at home. Speaking of the guys at home, how what I'll do, and we've got Double O Raven in the chat. Oh wait. That's me. We've got Blatant Rage in the chat. He will, of course, have the fruit shoots and egg Haribos waiting on his faithful commentating son to finish his dedicated shift. Johnny M, come on, Dartin. He's got fans on track, so we'll be hearing from more of him, I'm sure. Ben Gallagher, good evening. Leon, good evening. Stewie, AJ, Johnny M, once again. Andy RP, good evening, good evening. Gridfinder, good evening. Welcome along, welcome along. Of course, our sponsors for this tournament, so welcome along. Hope you enjoy the entertainment that the drivers put on show with your logo tucked there nicely on the screen. Hill Rocker, good evening. SOP Motorsport, good evening. Who else? We've got Militant, he is cheering on Ian Egan, obviously. Marky Marks is in there, hoping to not have a race-defining crash in the first 15 minutes. Fingers crossed there for you, Mark. AKM Ike, good luck to all the drivers. Indeed, SOP Curly Red, he sounds like a great guy. Good evening to
30
him.
seconds.
Good racer as well.
Sup? How we doing? And Jixer, of course, he is here as well. We are on the start line then. We have Gantus, Shikanima, Mo, Bortolio, Bunyan, O'Neill, Taylor, Sue, Bryant, Ziga, Sarista, Hutchinson, Neuwirth, Van Hal, Phillips, Clinch, Egan, King, McGee, Millard, Camilio, Babaluel, and of course Szymanski in my beloved Ferrari on pole position. The last thing we need to be doing is seeing that, so let me just figure out once again how that works. Look at that, it's almost like I've done this before. Let us transition to the game screen. Andy, he's diving straight in with the Send It. He is loving a Send It. Let me just get some helicopter. And I heard the notification. This is what I love about PC. We just got a notification there. Who was that? Gridfinder with 100 bits. Thank you very much for the donation. Yes, we are going to be putting tools on the screen. We're trying to get ourselves a new integrated website, actually, to integrate all the stats. So, Gridfinder, thank you very much. Oh, the donation thing's not back on screen. I knew there was something I forgot. The joys of new technology, like you say. I know, I had one job. Brilliant. We'll now call that doing a Raven. How's that?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we'll call that doing a Raven. Of course we will. Of course we will. Donington, no Bailey. I mean, yeah, just absolute cracking British track. And like you say, very much like a British track, very, very narrow. You really have to work for an overtake here.
Yeah, absolutely. And also one thing that sticks in my head is a little mistake and you've got a bit of grass. If you do lose the car in the grass, there's a lot of runoff. But as you can see, we're going past one of the corners now with a lot of gravel on the other side. So the driver's got to be careful, haven't they? You've got to be quite smart about how you take the corners, how you take racing, and side-by-side action. You've got to be prepared to, well, give up a position really, because it could save your race. And I think that's one of the things I like most about Donington is it's a very pace-dependent track. If you're in your rhythm, you should be good. So it'll be interesting to see these guys, especially the front two, see if they can pull away, because obviously they were the two fastest out of the 23 drivers. But like I was saying, it doesn't really matter. I mean, they get a bit of an advantage being at the front, but it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the field gets on.
Yeah, really well. As you say, some of the guys at the back of the field were slightly slower, but as you said, very astutely, a man wise beyond your years, young Bailey. As you said, no one wins anything in qualifying other than the kudos from the rest of the drivers. So that really is, it's all about the race as we see the guys coming around the last bend. Goddards, of course, 2.4 miles, built in 1931. Donington coming along the start-finish straight. Then we will jump on board with Camilio in third position, get a beautiful helicam view of the start. He will be hovering that accelerator, waiting on the green light to go off, and away they go. And it is, as you were, we see in the background there, nice little moves from the Mercedes. Oh, very close up front, very nearly contact. Babalu had to be very close on the brakes. Camilio then looks like he's been swapped, and so does Millard. King McGee then looks like he's made the move. And I'll tell you, the two Phillips boys in the Bentleys and the AMGs, we wrote the Bentleys off slightly before the race, and I would hasten to suggest that those guys are having themselves a bit of a battle. The timing boards are going absolutely ballistic, and so are the drivers on track. That is a 4-car pile-up, 5-car, 6-car. Oof, and that is never-ending trouble there for the middle of the field. We we don't quite fully have the replay function running yet, but that is going to be a cracker when someone pulls the replay from that. So, humdinger of a start there from the middle of the field, Bailey, but it's as you were for the guys up front with King McGee making himself a nice, useful place, and so does Kenny Millard, but it's as you were with the top three. Ian Egan, up to 7th and involved in an incident there again. So really painful stuff from some of these guys, really struggling. We did say Donington was very narrow, Bailey, and it certainly looks like these guys are struggling with their width judgment here in lap 1.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. They touched the grass and one driver lost it, and it meant there was a bit of a domino effect, which is not good. And in racing, you saw there was about 5 cars struggling to get back on track because there's just no grip on grass. You try to put your foot down and you could potentially spin. These cars do have traction control, so you have the advantage there. But it's a scary part of the track when, especially at the start of the race, you know, getting the cars to get off the grass, which is it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, it really, really is. We're on board then with King McGee, watching some of these fabulous shots of this track. You really get more of an understanding of the undulation that these guys are having to deal with here as we watch the guys coming through Sector 2 heading towards the Melbourne hairpin, one of the most fear-inducing corners in British, if not world, motor sport, and these guys will come absolutely tearing into that at an unprecedented rate of knots for us mere mortals, I can assure you. Let's get the timing back up. I don't know why that disappeared there, I do apologise. A lot of data there, but we're watching here. We do have some toing and froing in the back marker. Sam Sue then down to 19th. We saw him involved in a bit of an incident. Alex Phillips is off track again, so he is not having a great move. Bunyan then was up in the top 10. He finds himself down in 22nd, and Lance Taylor as well. He looked like he got collected. Mad Max Taylor, of course, in his beloved Lexus. It looked like he got collected slightly in some of the comings together early doors there, Bailey, and he's definitely dropped back down the order. But this battle here is unbelievable. Kenny Millard, the cork in the bottle, Bailey, and to say that he has some fans and followers behind him, I think is going to be an understatement, as we'll have a look at the rear spoiler of the beautiful Bentley, and we can see Bentley, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Bentley in the background. A quite stunning lineup there, but certainly one I'd rather be watching from the commentary booth than in my actual rear view mirror, Bailey.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this angle, John. This defines racing, I think. And this is why we love your PC. But yeah, like you were saying, yeah, man, you give me a better one. There you go. Who's this on board? Is that an Aston Martin? Yeah, Clinch. I think we're about to see the drivers start spreading out a bit more, and the racing is going to get a lot more tight, isn't it? And I think what's that? We've got 2 Bentleys in front of Clinch. That's quite a lot, isn't it? They're quite bunched up, and this track I think provides the best racing in that sense. And we see a move. That's the point. That's the problem. The track's so tight. Especially in the chicane area, they're getting very close, aren't they?
They really are.
Wow.
Yeah, they are. As they come through the aforementioned Melbourne hairpin, it really is one of the hardest braking, slowest points of the track, as we see some lights flashing from the... Oh, so is that Phillips? No, off, and another bit of contact there. So it really isn't going well for these guys at all at the start of the race. It is going well though for Hubert Szymanski. He is managing to keep the ever-keen Philip Babaluel in his Mercedes, very much in his arrears. We've seen Babaluel a few times in the PC races, Bailey. Sorry, I do apologise, I'm sure we didn't realise the volume up so high there. Babaluel, we've seen him in a few races, and he has been prone to the odd mistake, but he has put in some really good, quick, consistent lap times when he has got out on track. So now he's got some clear air, we could see Philip making himself a little move for the top spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I did lose you a little bit there.
All right, okay.
But as you were.
as you were, indeed. I was just talking about Philip Babaluel. I was saying we have seen him make a couple of mistakes before in the past, perhaps a couple of them not necessarily his fault, but when he does get himself a bit of clean air, he can certainly put the laps in, and now he finds himself chasing the race leader with the rest of the field, quite frankly, left done and dusted with some of their coming together. So we could see him make a bit of a charge for the top spot here.
Well, I wonder, John, if this is I'm making myself sound really smart, aren't I?
Good, good.
This is the drivers that are in their zone. And I think we'll start to see Camilio as he starts to gain. Hopefully, we'll start to see him gain to these two, because these two are sort of in a, like I said, in a pace of their own. Oh, that's a bit of a bold break in zone from the Mercedes driver. I would love to see that from the rear view. Maybe we should jump on board actually with Hubert to see the rear view, just because I think that Mercedes driver's hot on the brakes. He did gain a little bit of time, but you just notice, I love this helicopter cam because you can see how quickly and how fast the Mercedes cuts up the back end of the Ferrari. Well, your favourite car.
Oh, the greatest car. The greatest car there is on the game. Oh, unfortunately, you can't go up. Look at that. You can't actually see that for the sun visor. So there we go. So it shows you just what a restricted view some of these drivers have when they're driving these cars. But he is going to get very close. Of course, the other way to see how close he's getting, we can jump on the rear spoiler there of the Ferrari and just listen to the sound of that. That is the choir of angels there, Bailey. The sound of sheer motorsport heaven. It is, of course, the Ferrari 4820 Evo, and he is being hunted down. As I said, Babaluel, he's absolutely Szymanski, has showed some really, really, really good pace. Finished, obviously, particularly well, or didn't, obviously finished particularly well in the first race because of an incident. He finished down in 17th, so he will be looking to make a huge amends for that, and he's certainly doing the right thing at the moment, whereas his competitors are struggling, Bailey. We've really seen in this midfield with what can only be described as a lot of comings together, and will we see what here as we see Porsche Ferrari. Beautiful driving here from these guys. Oh, look at that as they come over the hill. So the Porsche in the lead at the moment is Ziga, I believe. Egan is in the middle. Sam Sue's in there as well, with Mo behind them in the Ferrari. Or sorry, that's Ziga just ahead. So sorry, it's Sam Sue and Ian Egan that are battling it out at the moment.
This is what I was going to say, is these are the two drivers, correct me if I'm wrong, Sue and Ian both had problems on the lap one, so that's why they're so far down. But 15th and 16th isn't a terrible position, because we've got 50 minutes left, and I think we'll start to see drivers yet again get into their zone, start pumping in these lap times that they need to sort of settle down, because it's not just a stressful environment in this track. It might be for some of the drivers, I'm not going to lie, especially into the chicane here. But hopefully Ian and Sam can sort of calm down after what happened at the start if they got screwed over a little bit. And hopefully we'll start seeing them develop up the order.
Yeah, we certainly could. Sorry, as you were talking there, we've jumped on board with Lance Taylor. Mad Max, of course, he's closing in on Brian Van Hal in the Bentley, the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. So he's certainly looking to give them a bit of a hard time. Mad Max definitely is quick. He only ever drives that Lexus, so he certainly knows his way around it. He did look like he was another one that was caught in the what can only be described as mass chaos that happened in lap one on this very, very, very tight track. Bailey and I did say, or certainly Bailey was at great pains to point out early doors, that this track is indeed a tricky one. It is narrow, and getting the overtakes done can be very, very difficult, and it certainly proved to be very difficult for the chaps this evening. As you get a great view there. I was going to talk, Bailey, about the undulation. We did touch on it briefly. Yes. You really only see it when you're in some of these stunning onboard cameras, the up and down, and that really, really, really can throw off the weight transfer for the cars, especially cars as precision as these, or certainly need to be handled as precisely as these do. So the guys certainly, not quite getting to grips with the track as they would have liked, but certainly still keeping one another honest. There's still a lot of action going on through the field. As you said, there's still 49 minutes to go, and of course a mandatory pit stop for the drivers to take. So it really is still
got green boards, John.
They've all got green boards. Oh, have I looked at the wrong part of the calendar? There is no mandatory pit stop in tonight's race because it's a 60-minute race. Bailey, this is why I constantly tell everyone you're the brains of the operation that makes everything work. All the little logos and everything we've got, that's all Bailey's work. He genuinely does make everything happen. Let me just make sure that that goes back in the right place.
I don't know, John, if someone has told you in the chat yet, but I've been told by someone that you are a little tiny bit quiet on screen.
Okay, let me just see if I move my microphone to there.
That is better.
Would that, is that better? Okay, definitely. There we go. Bailey said straight away that that's better. So excellent. Let me just bring up my timing board. We are broadcasting, of course. It is the SOP British GT Championship, and it is sponsored by our good friends at Grid Finder. Grid Finder is the easiest way to find online sim racing leagues for a set of course of competition, iRacing F1 and RF2, as well as many more racing sims and games alike. You can find leagues in the UK, USA, Australia and more. Head to gridfinder.com where you will find ourselves, SOP Motorsport, as well as many others. Alternatively, if you have a league or a community yourself and you're watching this, get yourself signed up. Jump onto the site and join the 1,000 other leagues that are currently registered. Grid Finder, find your place on the grid. And the gentlemen here on track certainly found their place on the grid. We had a lot of guys who qualified on pole position, and we said qualifying won't win your races, Bailey, and these guys have certainly proved that one to be the case, because the qualifying up at the front, a little bit of contact in the first lap. A lot of these guys are well out of position and really going to have a hard time getting themselves back up. With Sam Sue, of course, he finished on the podium in the first race, and King McGee won it. McGee, of course, looking very comfortable in fourth, but Sam Sue down in 14th place. So after qualifying in the top 5, Bailey, that's an absolute heartbreaker for him, and he'll be looking to do whatever he can to get himself back up closer to the top 5, at least, you would hasten to guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got the pace to do it, and hopefully we'll see Ian follow him up the order. I've just noticed also, John, we haven't got Alex Phillips in on track or on my timing board. So have we suffered a disconnect?
Yeah, I think we will say disconnect at the moment, but given the number of times that drivers made contact with him in the first, I think it may have been the amount of damage he suffered that has caused the issue for him there, because these cars can certainly become unrepairable. You can go into pits and repair the damage, but it certainly doesn't make the car more drivable. As we see, we did say that was a great place to get on the brakes. The Lexus certainly was having a nibble there as they come round the last bend, down that little hill again. You see the undulation, you see it off in the distance there, Bailey. Do not adjust your screen, your TV's not wonky. That is the dip that the track takes. Very much a huge feature, as Bailey was saying. A lot of British tracks you will find are very narrow, other than Silverstone, obviously, before everyone jumps on the case. But if you do look at a lot of the courses, Donington, Oulton Park we had last week, and of course Brands Hatch, the roller coaster that is Brands Hatch. Yeah, it's very easy to see a pattern in British racing, and it's stunning when you think about it, Bailey, that a lot of these tracks actually started off for push bikes. So a lot of people were pedalling around these up and down hills. So yeah, if you think the motorsport guys are keen, sorry, just enjoying those 3 cars flying past there. The sound of those engines is absolutely phenomenal work, and these guys driving absolutely beautifully. So the guys have definitely settled down now. We're seeing people making their moves. Alistair clinched in. He is looking to close up on King McGee, although King McGee just made a move on him. You think he has? So we've missed that. King McGee has moved up a place. What's going on here, Bailey? We've missed that. Too busy talking about the beautiful rolling scenery and the undulating tracks that Britain is famous for. But Clinch looks like he's going to try and make a move back. He certainly won't be ready to give up that place too soon. So he is going to chase him down. Here we go, on board. And that is a much better view from the on-board cameras there. No windscreen, no sunshades to deprive us of the view of these 2 cars. The brake lights lighting up there, both men beautifully on the brakes. Catching just enough curve there. Oh, he's cut the curve much better than McGee there. Can he get the move done then? McGee with a rear view mirror completely full.
Oh, that's gonna
of
put him
Aston
all over the
Martin.
back of the Bentley.
That really is, that really is. Let's jump back on the helicopter and see if he can get the move done. So these two guys battling out. King McGee taking 4th place from Clinch. Clinch absolutely not happy with that arrangement and looking to get his Aston Martin, because he is at the moment in a Bentley sandwich. I did say I wasn't expecting the Bentleys to do well here, and of course the Bentley drivers were listening and decided once again to make a complete fool. I mean, not just Bentley drivers, the drivers in general do like to do the complete opposite of what I predict. Will he get close enough, get the inside line? No, so falls him once again. Will be holding on to that slipstream. We do see the two cars ominously lurking in the background of Seristo and Millard. Seristo, of course, came second in last week's race, so he will be looking to maintain a podium position in this race as well to keep his charge, especially with Sam Sue and King McGee being positioned where they are. Of course, Sam Sue is only 1 point behind him, or 1 place behind him in the championship, and sits 8 places behind him on the grid. And with King McGee still being ahead of him and winning the first race, you would guess that Seristo is going to have to get his foot down and make himself a charge if he does want to get himself back on the podium in the race here at Donington. So we do still have 22 drivers on the track. Bertolio, and a beautiful little battle here at the back. Never forget the guys at the back, Bailey. There's on-track action every place as Bertolio and Ziga. Sorry, so Ziga's actually out of position, so yeah, so this looks like it's a combination of back markers and front markers here, Bailey. I think it's actually Camilio in the Porsche coming through there.
Number 333, yeah.
It is, yeah, so look at Ziga there. Is still on track, of course, involved in so many incidents. He's a very, very, very quick driver as well, so we should expect to see him make his way back through the field. Definitely out of position at the moment.
Oh, is that McGee? Was that McGee?
Is that McGee? Oh, it is, it's McGee.
Oh
it
my,
is McGee.
okay.
McGee has made a mistake. The race, top 5 position, he's made a mistake. Something's going on there, so Clinch.
Why hasn't...
And that is Millard, I believe, who's got through as well. It is, so Millard has got through as well, so that is King McGee going to find himself dropping away down the order, while Alistair Clinch in his green point Aston Martin is off and running. So Sarista then promoted, Kenny Millard promoted, and I believe Harry Phillips got through as well, so King McGee down to 8th position, and he's got Stefan Van Hal and a whole lot of battling with Mark Bryant and Lance Taylor going on behind him. Lance closing the distance beautifully on the brakes there. What a close that was. Fantastic move he made there to close the brakes on... No, that's not Bryant, so Bryant's got the move done. That is Van Hal who's currently attacking. So so the Mercedes, the Lamborghini, the Ferrari, sorry, I'm getting far too excited with Lance being on track. There is no Lamborghini there, that is the Ferrari that's hunting down the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin definitely have a completely different braking zones.
Ooh.
Wow, yep, he's cutting the curb. 3 guys well and truly committed to getting themselves into the top 10. Lance, of course, the man on the bubble, but he is... That Lexus looks so much better on the brakes, Billy, as much as it pains me to say it against my beloved Ferrari. But you've got to think that Lance is eyeing up a move and is going to get one done sooner rather than later, given what seems to be the far superior brake advantage he's got out with these 2 cars in some of these corners.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we follow through here, is he going to... No. So I'd just like to express the point that when a driver pulls out to whether it's your left or right hand side into a braking zone, it is a very good technique to get into the other driver's head. Who's that? Is that Van Hal going off slightly there? And that's going to compromise him a little bit. The Lexus driver going to go up the inside. Not this time.
That's not the place to make a move, Bailey.
It's not. No, it's not. You're right.
That's not a corner exit that you roll the dice on, shall we say?
Yeah,
not unless your testicular fortitude is weighed in kilograms.
Well, what I was going to say is is it Ian Taylor in a Lexus?
Lance Taylor. That's Lance Taylor. Mad Max.
Lance Taylor in Mad Max.
Max,
Lance Taylor in the Lexus is doing a good job at taking the attention of Van Hal to him, and that's allowed Bryant to get away. Bryant's going to be rubbing his hands here because he was under pressure a lot of pressure with the Ferrari driver, sort of as if that he was holding up a bit of a traffic jam. So what the Lexus of, I keep on losing the name, Taylor's done, Lance Taylor is doing is allowing him to be later on the brakes. No, not yet, but he's teasing him, and as you see, he's going a bit wider there, and and then the Aston Martin goes wide. So everything I just said has just been completely
thrown
disapproved.
out the window. Like I say, Bailey, these guys, I'm telling you, they all watch the stream and listen to what we're saying, and they like to do the complete and exact opposite.
I think so.
Which is completely ungrateful given the amount of time and effort we put in to bringing the people at home stunning pictures of watching these guys on camera. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat. The chat is alive with the sound of congratulations, really. We've got TSKKR who subscribed with Prime. Thank you very much. We've got a subscriber tonight. We've got the real Darth guy. Luke, I am your father, Luke. So we've got the real Darth guy joining. I do all kinds of impressions. I'm here all week. Tip your rate this. Great Finder, of course, with 100 bits Arizona. I'm old and slow. I didn't realise I'd changed my... Oh no, that's someone else. Right, okay, we've got another one who is proclaiming that they are old and slow. Let's see how the guys are getting on up front. I'm just watching this battle though with Lance Taylor. Absolutely fascinating, the battle between the Lexus and the Ferrari, and of course does give a lot of time to my beloved Ferrari. But Adam O'Neill here, he is looking to get a move done as well. Who else have we got? We've got Leon saying hi again. IR Racer, good luck to everyone. Juggernaut, well that didn't take long. Jigsaw with militants in the chat. Everyone's saying, Sir Fosh, you said murder. There's been a murder. Obviously. you can't proclaim to be a Scotsman.
Did he request you to say that, John?
I don't think he did, but yeah, I think he might have. Was that what it was? There might have been a request. Because of course, the very famous Scottish detective Taggart. If you're a Scotsman, that's mandatorily, you've got to, if you want a booze, you got to go where the booze is. So you've got to do Sean Connery. And you've also got to do There's Been a Murder. It's because we can roll our R's better than anyone else. Sorry mate, and you go, yes.
I do that in the kitchen when we talk about cheese. We say cheddar cheese.
Oh, awesome. Love this stuff, Sir Fosh, shame I can't take part in this Eagle Challenge with Security series I've done. Thanks to your broadcast in the mixed field. Yes, Sir Fosh, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you in there, mate. What a performance you put in, especially in my beloved Ferrari, putting it absolutely through its paces and getting on the podium week after week. So good on you, bud. Really appreciate that. So thank you for tuning in again. Kieran Clifford, hey guys, stream looks amazing, folks. Look at that, Bailey. He typed that word for word. Make sure you write out that check to him and send that. He did type that out word for word there, so good on him. Jixer, good evening. Blatant Rage is cheered for 100 bits. Oh, cheer 100. Yes.
Oh, hello. This is a move, John.
Oh yes, this is a move.
O'Neill going around the outside of Hutchinson, I think. But no, Hutchinson late on the brakes. That compromise.
He's going to try and get the cut back. Will he get it through? And I tell you what,
look at the Porsche, Sam.
Oh, hello Christmas. Here we go then.
Triple overtake?
Oh,
a double overtake, sorry.
He's got the move done up the inside, and he's going to be very close to the Aston Martin, so he has got the move up on the inside. Can he get the double overtake done? It is a drag race between the two cars. He falls in the back. Would have definitely been a bit of bump drafting, and in the back there we see one of the stream's favourites, along with Sam Sue. There's Ian Egan coming to say hello.
Down
side by side, down the inside again.
Fantastic move. Wow.
Let's get a standing ovation from the commentary box. That is absolutely incredible work.
That was good.
Absolutely
that was awesome.
incredible work. That was, of course, Sam Sue getting it done, and there is the picture he now sees in his rear view mirror, given that that was the picture he was seeing out the front not too long ago. So he has got that Aston Martin definitely tucked up in the rears, and I'll tell you what it's done. It has brought Ian Egan well and truly back into the hunt, as we see his windscreen visor there once again. Let's see if we can do. Nope. There we go. Let's have a let's have some carbon fibre steering wheel action as we watch Ian throw around the Porsche. An absolute beast of a machine. Make no mistake whatsoever. This thing is all kinds of a handful, and Ian highlighting beautifully there as we see the extra steering input, try to keep the back of this thing in check. And it is a mystery given how much weight is on the back wheels, but it really can be. Oh, look at that, straight over the curb, a bit of a jiggle over the curbs, and these four guys will battle now. Talk about having some of the best drivers out there. And,
Egan!
up the
Oh,
middle,
no.
up the inside.
Is that a move? It is
That
a
is a
move.
move.
Wow.
Absolutely incredible move.
Okay.
So 2 laps on the trot there, the Bentley. So I think Adam O'Neill, is he suffering some kind of... well, no, because he's straight back on the back of the post. But that's 2 laps on the trot. He has been overtaken in the same spot, and I don't think there was much battle put up there. We've got Harry Phillips. He is making moves on Kenny Millard. Kenny Millard, we know, is absolutely no slouch. And I tell you what, is Bryant going to get a move done here as well? He is still looking to get one done. He is still chasing Van Hal. This little battle's still going on in the middle here. I was just about to talk about the strength and depth right through the field, and these 3 guys, this is now 17 laps in, and for pretty much 14 of them, these 3 guys have been nose to tail, swapping positions. Not a bit of damage between them from certainly driving this close to one another, and it really is a massive testament to the level of drivers we're getting along here for these SOP events.
Yeah, and that what makes me so excited for Wednesdays, I think, John.
Oh, it really is. It really is, especially now that we've got an actual in-house PC that works.
Oh. Who's this? Is this Bryant looking to make a move from Van Hal into the hairpin? No. It's actually interesting to see. So hold on. Have we missed this, John? Van Hal's got past Bryant. I don't know if you've mentioned that.
Yeah, so these 3 have been trading places.
Yes, they have,
back and forward, back and forward.
Very similar pace then. They must be, because one's not getting away very easy. Let's say.
They do have, where they lose one another, they're basically all 3 cars are better in one particular sector, and it's kind of balancing it out over the 3. As you said, this track isn't very wide, Bailey. It doesn't lend to straightforward, not that there's ever a straightforward overtake in a GT3 car, but it certainly doesn't lend to overtaking as quickly and as seamlessly, painlessly as you would perhaps want. We're going to jump on board though. Well, one of the guys at the back there, Neuwirth. Oh, has he got the move done? He has. Ooh. We just missed that. Neuwirth. Sorry, bud, if you watched this back, I apologise. We just missed that. That looked like a great overtake there on Gantu. So Aston Martin defending home turf honour against the Italian flying stallion there of Gantus in the Ferrari. So Neuwirth then will look to stretch that gap. We will, of course, jump straight back on board though. Can we guess who with? That's right. Bryant, Van Hal and Taylor, these 3 guys in the middle of the pack, doing the business for us. 19 laps in, Bailey, so we're coming very close to the halfway mark of the race. And despite the fake news that was spread by one of the commentators, there isn't a mandatory pit stop in this race, because this week, of course, is the 60-minute race. It's next week. That is the 60-minute race again. And the Aston Martin there, Bryant missed his braking zone entirely there. So that is going to cost him big time. So that separates that little battle out a bit. And that is going to give Van Hal, because of course the Aston Martin was in the middle of that little battle there. So that has suddenly gone from these 3 guys being very close lap after lap to them suddenly being very, very, very far apart. So we'll see if Bryant can not only catch back up, but he's now got the Sam Sue effect to worry about. In fact, I think has Sam got the job done? No, he's not quite got it done yet. He hasn't quite got it done yet. No, so there's the Aston Martin. In fact, there's a yellow Aston Martin in the front of him and behind him. So he's got Bryant behind him, and he's got Bryant in front of him, sorry, and Hutchison behind him with Ian Egan then. Of course, .ie. Looking to make moves as well. Oh, Bailey, we're 30 minutes in and it's literally just here. Babalu's coming to the pits.
Hold on. Who's this going up on the grass?
No, that's not the camera we wanted. Babalu's coming to the pits, Bailey.
No
mandatory pit stop, and he's coming to the pits. Such a disappointment. Running in second. Do you think it could have been damage?
I don't know, John. I'm having second thoughts that maybe because of last week's race, he's put half the amount of fuel that he would have wanted to. No, would that make sense? I'm just trying to figure that out. don't see why you would pit other than, like you said, damage.
Well, I tell you, I do know Jixer's in the chat, and Jixer can testify that sim racing games do like to keep you on your toes. And he started the race during the week, and for some reason it started with 1 litre of fuel in his petrol tank. Yeah, that's no, that's not what you need. That's not what you need. So it could be
I like this shot.
something. We do indeed love these cameras. We do indeed love the cameras.
This is my favourite part of the track, John, actually. Going down there. Whoa! Hello! Make the move. No!
Makes a move, and that's a mistake there. So the Aston Martin has been dispatched. Hutchison then off track, and he's going to find himself losing a couple of places. And I think Adam O'Neill is going to find his way through there as well. So yeah, unfortunate incident there. So the guys, even this lot, we thought they had indeed settled themselves down and found their rhythm, but still catching themselves. Just shows you, Bailey, with tracks like this, you really need to be full concentration mode for the whole race, or it is game over.
Yeah, what track can we compare it to that is on the calendar? Possibly, I'm thinking like a Kyalami maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have that. I mean, it's very much like Oulton Park. I think the difference at Oulton Park is the walls are very much closer, so it's like Bathurst. One slight mistake and you really do have a race-ending incident very early doors. And yeah, we've certainly seen some of those so far.
Can we, a quick request, can we jump on board with Ian as he goes down the hill? I love how quick downhill these guys go, and it is basically flat out, and you got your foot to the floor. And even through this corner coming it's a tap of the brakes and just quick turning down to third gear, up and then up into fourth, now and then up the hill. That's my favourite part of the track, possibly one of my favourite parts on all tracks. That's a killer, that is. I love the fast sweeping corners of this track. It's brilliant.
Yeah, we really do. And it looks like Adam O'Neill was listening to your expert advice through that corner, because he's closed up the gap on the Porsche. So once again, another Bentley driver looking to put me in my place. We do now have 3 Bentleys in the top 7. So after me saying the Bentley's probably been featured at the top end of the grid, all the Bentleys are at the top, all the Porsches and Ferraris are at the bottom, apart from the 2 leaders. And yeah, Baba Lual, looking for him on the board. He come back out in 14th place, Bailey. And Sam Sue's come into the pits as well. What are we missing? Have these guys underfueled? Have they maybe put quality fuel in? Have they perhaps loaded the wrong setup? This is a real mystery to me, folks. If anyone's watching any of these other guys streaming the race, please feel absolutely free to give us a heads up as to why everyone is jumping in the pits. There is no mandatory pit stop in this race. So it's certainly
someone tell us in the chat.
Yeah,
Simon, if you're in the chat, let us know what you've set the settings to. Or has it caught people out, I wonder? I'm not too sure. As a driver, actually, if one of you guys are used to driving PC, what does it tell you in terms of race setup? Because if these guys are thinking, if they didn't know about the no mandatory pit stop for this race, have they done a pit stop? That's another person coming into the pits. Gantos in the Ferrari. What is it we're missing, John? I think we haven't been given the memo yet.
Yeah, I think that there may have been, I think a carrier pigeon may have got lost on the way, so we'll send them a search party.
And it is halfway through the race, so it makes sense that you'd be pitting. But in a race, for those that you don't know, in a race that is 60 minutes, which isn't that long, especially in GT3, and the host has given you the option to not pit, why would you pit? It's a quick sprint race, which is what was confusing us, I think. But yeah, very strange.
Yeah, I'm absolutely pickled on that one as well. As you say, Bailey, this would be the time. The confusing factors are this would be the perfect time to pit if it was a mandatory pit stop. But these cars can easily do an hour on one set of tyres and one petrol tank. So it certainly is interesting as we see him come through the right-hander there. Very, 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 very slick. As you say, Bailey, this section here, there's a couple of racetracks in the world that have got a section like this. I'm trying to remember what the other one is that I've raced, but this right-hander here, you really do can carry an incredible amount of pace, but that little curve on the left-hand side there, woe betide. Woe betide.
Is the right word.
Yes, any man that decides to mess with that. Oh, sorry. Let's bring that back up again. We've got a stop-go penalty then. So Gantus has got himself a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit stop that he didn't need to take. So that is from bad to worse. I hope Simon is watching. Where is Babalul? So is Babal...
Oh.
Okay, so I did wonder what was going on. Oh, we did say he was prone to the odd mistake, and we did wonder if this was the week he was going to put it together. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that will be the case, as the Ferrari looks
Quick
to get
switch
ahead
to
of
the
him.
inside. Look at the
Back
pace
on
he
the
had from
outside.
that, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Wow.
really, really did. I think the Ferrari
That
is
was
a back marker.
Never mind.
Yeah, that is a back marker that he has just gone whizzing past. We do, in fact, we can we? Let me just see if we can do this. There we go. So there is a track mark. The Ferrari's coming
Another
into the pits now
pitter.
as well. Yeah, we've got another one.
Oh, it's
into the
Gantus
pits.
to take his mandatory, his stop go.
Right, okay. Oof. And there's Samsu in the sand with Mo in the Ferrari. Wow, some fascinating stuff going on here tonight. It's very difficult to keep it in a rhythm, and the guys on track really are struggling to keep it in a rhythm as well. We thought they'd got the itchy trigger fingers out the way in the first lap. We've certainly seen a few coming together, and we did see, unfortunately, one car not make it to the end because of the amount of damage that they sustained.
Oh, look at the exit O'Neill got.
He really did get a good one.
But he got, yeah, I think he lifted it a little bit because of the way Ian's car came across then to take the apex.
Did,
and I think that's something that you've got to be used to around this track and tracks like it, because it is a lot of adapting your racing style to the guy in front, and it's not easy to do when, say, someone takes maybe a slightly different racing line, if it's on purpose, whether that's just what they do or it is like an adjustment they've made. But yeah, O'Neill did a fantastic job then, just not to ram into the back of Ian.
Oh, Pablo back marker. Yes, he did. Sorry, I thought Pablo was about to overtake someone there, but it was Neuwirth.
Oh, it
so
was.
He didn't get the move.
No, it was Hutchinson.
No, it's not. It's Hutchinson. But yeah, Hutchinson. Sorry, that's where I got confused. I can't keep up with the Aston Martin. Neuwirth actually got a shout in the chat. We'll come back to the chat. How's the chat? Can you see the chat, Bailey?
I can. It's slow for me. I'm not too sure how up to date it is.
Right, okay. Neuwirth is the best. There's the gamer. Team Shark. Yes, Kuzage. He is cheering on Neuwirth all the way. Number 63. Go, go, go. Love it, love it, love it. Who's everyone else cheering on in the chat? Do we think Szymanski? I'm determined to overpronounce his name every single week. Szymanski. Will he charge on to victory? Will we see Camilio make a late charge? Clinton looked like he might have been involved in this. It was certainly there or thereabouts when Babalul lost traction and disappeared off, and now finds himself way further down the lead. Can he hold on to his podium position? He does, of course, have the championship third place sitter. Oh, in fact, that's fake news. He's second. He did finish second, of course, in the Bentley last week, and after we say the Bentley's been featured, he is hunting down a podium position, but he is in turn being hunted down by Kenny Millard. He's going to get some extra camera time. Absolutely nothing to do with the fact he's driving a Ferrari. No, and definitely not. Not just decided we'd watch some Ferrari on Ferrari action. Donington bringing us all the action, and these Ferraris are looking to bring us some more as they go toe to tail, nose to bumper, up the inside, cuts the curb. Beautiful move. Dispatched of the back marker. Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. I'm getting myself so excited, Bailey. Trying to keep track of all the different cameras that I've got to play with now. All these different camera views are absolutely amazing. As we see this one, here we go. Look at that.
Like
vroom, 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 vroom.
That actually makes the track look as well. Actually, to be fair, that part of the track is fairly wide.
Yeah. But yeah, so some honestly amazing stuff coming out in the camera work here. We have been robbed of that battle in the middle of the field, but Ian Egan is definitely looking to reignite it then. He has caught himself back up onto the back of Bryant, and Lance Taylor has managed to get himself up to 9th position. I think that might have been to do with some people taking their pit stops and some people not, so I think there's going to be much consternation in the group chat after this race. It'll certainly be interesting to find out and see what has gone on. We'll jump on board with Ian then. As we see him getting very, very, very close indeed. Oh, look at him, how heavy he is on the brakes there. Oh, and a bit of a wiggle from the Aston. Wow. Oh, leave him room, leave him room. He's going to have to leave him there. Let's watch this one go side by side. Ian will definitely look to make a move here.
Down the inside.
Down the inside, he's got the apex.
Move. Yeah, lots of room given.
Yeah,
good racing.
Really is.
And he's just going to slot in behind him. And is the Aston Martin going to have the speed? Because, like I was saying, this part of the track is so quick. If you can get through this corner faster than the guy in front or the guy behind, then you definitely gain a lot of time. I think O'Neill, is that O'Neill? Yes, O'Neill has done exactly that. But saying that, they look really close. O'Neill compromised by the way the Ferrari, the way Aston Martin came across. He's going to have to be a little bit patient, but he's got to keep the pace up. I think O'Neill's going to do what he's been doing throughout the race, actually. So definitely a good job from O'Neill. And Ian, not a slow driver, but these drivers are so closely matched that it almost looks like he's holding them up. I promise you, he's not holding them up.
Yeah, no, definitely not. The guys, I have mentioned that, and I do keep mentioning the strength and depth through the field of drivers here really is quite as good. Oh, all the action here in the rear view mirror. We see the Mercedes of
is that Babalul?
That's Babalul in the Mercedes. I think he's gone side by side actually. He's got up the inside. Babalul then got the move done.
O'Neill let Babalul past.
Yeah, I think he might have. Yeah, there's no point in him arguing, given the pace.
No, it's not, is there?
Given the pace that Babalul qualified up in the front.
Oh,
so
he's not gonna.
Whoa! Way later on the brakes. Wow.
Okay, he's putting you in your place after you said he was prone to mistakes there, John.
I did see he was very quick when he gets clear track.
But he is quick, you're right.
Very, very quick, so...
Look how much speed he's carrying.
Very close there, very close. We'll jump to Bailey Cam for this.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Bailey Cam.
Is he going to make a move up the inside? Wow.
Oh, no! Oh, there's the mistake.
No! That is contact. I felt that. Oh,
Babalul,
no.
I've got to be honest, you should be pulling up and holding off to let the Porsche back in front of you. It would only be good sportsmanship.
Yeah, that would
I'm going to call that like it is, because Ian there did absolutely nothing wrong. No. Definitely came lost off there, unfortunately.
That Mercedes just carrying so much pace through the corners and everywhere on track. He just out of nowhere. Yeah, you got to feel for Ian, because he's how far has he been compromised now? 1.4 seconds. Not too bad, but he did get knocked off the track when he was leading this bunch. So that's disappointing. He was what, 9th or 10th? 10th, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was. So yeah, he will be good. Oh, Mercedes on Bentley. Look at the Mercedes of Kenny Millard up the inside there. Stunning move, absolute commitment. He's going to go round the outside here. Oh, the Bentley thought about. He did think. You saw the wiggle there. He wasn't sure if he had room. He did have the wiggle then. So these two guys. Oh, you've got to love how close these two are getting.
Yeah, you've got to be close to this part of the track.
I think you need to treat yourself to some Bailey Cam in a Ferrari. Oh, highlight of the stream. And of course he goes behind the sun visor. Gets very close indeed there. They definitely could be sharing popcorn in the back seat of that Bentley. These guys are getting so very close.
Ooh, nice transition.
Another round, 30 laps in. We've got 15 little minutes left for these guys to improve their position in round 2 of the SOP Motorsport British GT Championship, sponsored of course by Gridfinder. Gridfinder is the easiest way to find online sim racing leagues for a set across the competition, iRacing F1 and RF2 and many other sim racing titles. You can also find leagues in the UK, USA, Australia and many more. Head to gridfinder.com where you'll find ourselves, SOP Motorsport, as well as many others. Alternatively, if you do have a league yourself, or a community, then what are you waiting on? If you're watching this, get over to Grid Finder, join the 1,000 leagues that are already there. Grid Finder, find your place on the grid. So it is week 2, as I said, Bailey, of the SOP Motorsport Championship. The table is absolutely going to be shaken up given some of these results, and I think it's safe to say that the results are in no way, shape or form decided yet, with a lot of racing still to go.
Yeah, and not only that, not only that, when you stick a 2-hour race in the middle of a championship, that definitely changes up the order. And I think you see this quite a lot. There's any racing driver will tell you there will be a race somewhere in a championship that you have where you either don't score as much points as you would like or as you would normally, or you don't score points at all. But that just makes you want to come back stronger, and hopefully that's what we see. Where are we next week? Brands Hatch?
Yes, indeed, Brands Hatch it is, Bailey, yes.
A lot of pitters, John.
Another 2 guys have just pitted as well. I'm honestly scratching my head. I'm trying to keep track of 9 different screens to make sure everything all lines up, and I'm trying to figure out why everyone's going at the pits. I think they're just doing it to confuse us, Bailey. I think they're just.
I think so.
I think they've all just got together in the group chat and said, you know what? I'm sick of these commentators being awesome. Let's just drive them insane and confuse them. Grumpy Squid. Ah, see, I figured that one out. I'm not too old. Grumpy Squid, thank you very, very much for the follow. I appreciate that. AJ Car 32 has suffered heavy damage since lap 1. Car 88 light damage since lap 1. Grumpy Squid, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are, of course, here for the SOP Motorsport PC Racing. Enjoying some of the absolutely fabulous camera work that we have access to now that we are using the PC system. It did show that Millard is getting himself very close back onto Saristo, but Saristo has worked his way back onto the podium, Bailey, and he could be the only man to return to the podium after race 2. So he, I would say, is now very, very, very much a favourite to lead the not to lead the championship, to win the championship, given how close the rest of the field is. The only fly in the ointment, as far as Saristo is concerned, is of course the man that finished 5th last week, and that is the man that is currently in 2nd place. So Camilio, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he finished 5th in the first race. He's up to 2nd now. There was a lot of comings together. He certainly made the most of them, and he finds himself in 2nd place. A lot of people pit stopping as well. So again, I'm sure he's benefited from that. Sorry, I had to hold my breath there. I thought the Ferrari and the Bentley were about to come together. So there is still a battle going on for 3rd place. So Saristo and Millard, they will be battling hard here so that Camilio doesn't join the race. Oh, they're side by side. He's going to go up the inside.
He has.
Beautiful move by the Ferrari. Oh, no. The Bentley's lost his way on the way out. No, Saristo. Course of the commentator, will he lead the championship? No, he won't.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so Kenny Millard up into 3rd then, takes the final podium spot. It's unfortunate actually that Saristo did do what he did, but John, look at the cars, 6th, 5th and 4th, please. Read out the
6th, 5th and 4th is of course King McGee, Harry Phillips and Saristo.
And what car are they in?
They're all Bailey, there's lots of reasons I like you. At this particular point in time, I can't think of any of them. But if I do, I'll jot them down on a postcard and send them to someone else. But yeah, the Bentley guys. The Bentley guys have made the charge. Yet once again, the drivers have decided the best thing to do is make a complete fool of the commentators. They put in so much effort to make them look so great. So yeah, thanks very much for that, guys. Let's see. Some rear spoiler action. I haven't seen any of this for a while, but O'Neill does have Ian Egan, who was unceremoniously punting. Oh,
hello.
Inside. What a move. Could not have timed that any better. Takes out the Aston Martin. So Brian has been overtaken, and Ian Egan will look to get the move done on him as well. Not falls back into place then. Oh, and again. Oh, Ian having an unbelievably painful night tonight. You've absolutely got to feel for him. Absolutely got to feel for him. Gathers himself in, but does find himself behind the Aston Martin and Bentley that he was chasing, and finds himself with Hutchison all over the back of them. And oh, that's a back marker Ferrari there. So Ian Egan definitely not having the best of nights, Bailey.
No,
It's
not
been
at
a bit of a magnet for trouble and incidents.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not often his mistakes, but yeah, really suffering, and that is going to absolutely put massive dents in his championship hopes.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but I think what we saw then was because all those guys are so tight, and I've been dying to say this for the last probably hour, is I'm really surprised at the fact, well, normally you wouldn't want to make a move into the final corner. These cars don't have DRS, driver reduction system, but the slipstream is a real thing, and if you make a move into the final corner, it's quite likely that the other person that you just overtook is going to get into your slipstream and just send it and get the move done, which, you know, wastes your time and then makes the battle a bit longer than you'd probably want. But what's surprising is that cars are making moves into the final corner, and it's not compromising them. It's actually helping them a little bit because they are getting the move done earlier. As we see, who's this? This is Bryant going side by side with the Bentley.
Taking on O'Neill. Yeah, and he is absolutely going to get that move very competently done. Oh, or is he?
I think so.
Oh, side by side. Let's see if Helican gives a better view there. No, he doesn't get it done. So the Bentley then, once again, proving its superiority at this track. Of course, as one of the astute commentators pointed out at the start of the programme, we won't talk about the other commentator. A little bit much grass there, but he's still carrying a lot of speed in the Aston Martin. So as I said, the Aston Martin very, very, very strong in sector 2, getting very, very close. And that's Ian Egan in the back. He's had to move out the slipstream, and that is going to throw him to the wolves in the shape of Ian Egan and Hutchison in the background. So this battle is going to start all over again. So it just shows you the pace that Ian's got, and it shows you how tough a battle it has been. Absolutely got the pace, and I think, yeah, he's going to let him through. So I think that may be in deference to the fact that the two of them had it coming together. I think it's pretty safe to say it may have been Bryant. Oh, he's up the inside. Oh, got a bit much curb. Now the two Aston Martins are going to find themselves very close together.
Yeah.
How is this one going to play out? Who is going to take the last top 10 position? Of course, Babalul is sitting there at the moment, but he does like to make himself a bit of a mistake, as he has proven. And he does have a fair bit to go to catch Lance Taylor. He is catching him slowly but surely. There's only 7 minutes left to go though, so it could be a bit of a big ask. But Clinch then, looking to get himself one space better than he currently is, at the expense of Stefan Van Hal. He is chasing him round at the moment. So Alistair Clinch, we do love the spelling Alistair, it's a very Scottish spelling, my friend, so yeah, good on you. As we say north of the border. He is chasing down Van Hal in the Ferrari, and the two of these guys have been showing a little bit of a pace difference. Clinch has definitely showed over the piece that he's a few tenths a lap quicker than Van Hal, but as we've seen on this track, Bailey, being a couple of tenths quicker isn't really going to cut it when it's so difficult to get. I mean, the track really does look wide there, you're right, when it really is this difficult to get an overtake done.
The drivers, to be fair to them, have done a fantastic job at utilising their skills and being, well, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, utilising their skills and being a bit patient, and when the move's available to them, getting it done and pulling away, which is exactly what you need to do at this track. Then we can see Ian Egan late on the brakes yet again, a little, well, what's the word? Slightly missed the rear end of O'Neill, but didn't make contact, which is good. And Ian looking to get 11th position, I think, in the Porsche. He takes the tighter line. Is he going to come into the slipstream, or is the Bentley just going to come across slightly? Yeah, there we go. And I love the fact that the guys, the drivers, they always come straight across. You see it in real life as well. They come straight across towards the pit exit, which I can imagine if there's a pit stop involved, you'd be a bit hesitant to want to brake, because obviously you don't want to lose too much time, but I bet you're forced to brake if you see a Porsche or a Bentley going straight across and cut half the pit exit off. just to make turn one a bit wider.
Yeah, I would say so. Let's see if we can see. There we go. We'll go from Bailey cam to spoiler cam and watch the course. Let's bring the overlay back up as well. It's pretty cool. You can make that disappear actually. Get a nice plain cam for inside the cockpit. Brian then. Let's jump back on board. There is a Battle Royale building here. Of course, he was very close to his teammate.
Marker?
That is a back marker. We've got.
Oh no! Okay.
Oh no, so that's Neuwirth. Oh,
no!
and he's going. Oof.
Good save.
Deep breaths.
Okay.
Deep breaths. I believe the correct word is woosah. That was definitely a Code Brown moment there.
Okay.
Side by side.
Hello.
Round the outside, bit of a wiggle, lads. You can leave yourself a bit more room. Oh, and he's definitely lifted. He's got himself a bit of grass. The two of them have got the perfect amount of curb. And Ferrari's going to close straight back up onto the back of them. As we
can't even see the car.
Look at how close these guys are coming through this last sector of track. The Ferrari hunting down the Aston Martin then. Van Hal looking to take the place back from Clinch. Clinch got himself up into 7th place at the expense of Van Hal not too long ago. And Van Hal absolutely looking to take that place back again.
Yeah, I think Van Hal's on a mission, isn't he? And he's looking strong in that Ferrari. And so is Clinch, to be fair to him. He did pit, didn't he, from 3rd position? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So he did. He came from a podium sitting position. And if that pit stop was justifiable, like as if, what I mean by that is, if he did run less fuel and, yeah, fuel. It would be fuel.
Fuel
like
would be
said,
pretty
tires,
much, 90%.
Tires
Yeah,
can go,
I would guess fuel.
Yeah, so if he did run a little bit less fuel and he has pitted for fuel, he's in a good position. 8th isn't terrible. No, 7th isn't. 7th isn't terrible. But he is having a nice little battle, so he's been kept busy, isn't he, with Van Hal behind him.
Yeah, he really is. Just had to check. I wasn't on mute there. But yeah, he really is looking to get the job done. Ian Egan, though, is another man that's looking to get the job. He's very job done. He's got the job done on O'Neill. O'Neill's been overtaken quite a few times tonight. Definitely doesn't look like the bravest when it comes to getting it done. He will happily go side by side and make you make the move, and it's certainly something that Ian Egan is more than happy to do. So side by side round the outside. Has he made a move? We've seen another 2 guys coming in the pits. The madness continues, Bailey, but only 2 minutes left to go. But Ian Egan then getting the job done this time, thankfully, with no contact. He has had a very unfortunate race, but he's finding himself back up into 11th place. So he will be happier. I think it's safe to say. I don't think happy would be the correct word.
Happier,
but
yeah.
Happier, I would certainly surmise, as Adam O'Neill there falls foul to another back marker.
O'Neill's going to want to keep to the back of this green Ferrari, I think, because soon Ian's going to let him pass. He has lost loads of time, O'Neill has. But saying that, curse of the commentator, O'Neill's all over the back of Ian yet again, so that's not too bad. Fair play to them. He did let him pass. Maybe Ian was slowed down a lot more than he probably wanted to let the Ferrari pass.
Yeah, perhaps, like you see, with these cars being very different, they have very different braking zones, very different aerodynamic layouts, so the cars react differently under braking and under acceleration, and with such a wide variety.
Final lap now. Give it all you can.
Ooh, final lap.
Engineer, I forgot he was going to talk to me there, I do apologise. That's him stealing his camera. So, he's had pretty much no camera time whatsoever, but he has very much gotten the job done. That is Hubert Szymanski. He is very comfortably leading by 17 seconds, 40 laps deep into round 2 of the SOP British GT Championship, sponsored by Grid Finder. Simon does like to make these competitions and give them mouthful names, doesn't he, Bailey? Like, he really needs to give me a break sometimes. But the guys on track, thankfully, haven't given us a break this whole way through. Szymanski's leading, Camille's in second, and Millard is still battling to keep his podium position. He's got a back marker in the way. Oh, and the back marker. Whoa, then. Yeah, we'd
Damn,
have liked
that
to have
is
seen
how
that
much
from on board.
speed those cars are carrying.
Yeah, it
I did
really
say,
is.
didn't I? I said this part of the track was fast.
Oh,
Where's
it is
Millard?
beyond fast.
Not Millard. Where's the leader? Is he gonna finish his lap? Make sure we
No,
catch
don't worry. Yeah, make sure we
the
get the leader
finish.
crossing the line this time. We will definitely not let the race leader down as he comes towards the last bend, that very, very scary hairpin where we have seen so many moves made tonight. So Szymanski then, lap number
Happy
40,
Leader has
comes
finished
home
the race.
to take the checkered flag. Give us a flash of your lights.
I
Yeah,
think
we
the
go.
weaving did the justice.
He did, he did. And Camilio then will take a podium position after fifth in the first race. He's going to be very, very, very happy with that, I would say. But Millard, he won't be happy. He is trying to finish this race here, but he has a
Are we
whole
gonna see him move?
rear view mirror here. Fuel of Bentley,
No.
that's a very good question.
No
The Bentley
way.
closing
Oh
up is
my
going to be
god.
close coming out this last corner. It's going to be a drag race, but you would expect the
Oh,
Ferrari to hold on here, and
good job.
he does indeed. Soristo very close, 3/10 in fourth.
Yeah, that's
Harry
close.
Phillips, he's going to come home, and he is going to take fifth with King
Oh,
McGee.
big smash in the back, John.
Oh, was that a
The
back marker in
Ferrari,
the
a
background?
big smash. Yeah,
Oh
I don't
yeah. Oh,
know.
was that Kenny Millard?
That's not Van Hal, is it?
Oh, it's Van Hal. No, it's one
Oh,
of the
it
back
is.
markers. Is it Van
Oh,
Hal? Yeah, I think
you
it is. I
tell
think
me.
it is. All kinds of
He's
chaos at
popped
the
on the
end.
racing line. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, he is there. Yeah, so there is Van
There's
Hal in
Van
the
Hal.
background.
Yeah.
And there, as we're on board with Baba Lewell and Lance Taylor, involved in so many battles all the way through
Yes.
there, is going to finish in 10th position. Bailey,
Yes.
say something while I catch my breath, because that was another phenomenal hour of racing from the guys here at SOP Motorsport.
Yes. I think that sums up the chaos that this track produces. But we did see some fantastic racing as well, which makes everything a lot better. I do love to see the guys make some consistent moves, and we did see that throughout the stream and throughout the race. I can't be more happy really because this is the first time I've ever seen a race um, at British tracks such as Alton Park and now Donington, and they've produced some fantastic racing. I can't wait to go to Brands Hatch because Brands Hatch we've raced on and we've streamed before, um, so I'm excited to see um, what a track that is more familiar to these guys, what it produces in terms of racing. Yeah, I can't wait. Bring on Wednesday. That's what I say.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Bring on Wednesday. We will also have to bring on a staff meeting where I figure out how to stop the mouse appearing on screen. I do apologise. And we're also going to have to figure out how to make the text chat appear, because the last thing we need is the guys at home seeing the guys arguing, just in case they've had a bit of a coming together. So at the moment, we're going to look very quickly at this screen here. We are going to do a quick wrap up of tonight's show though. It was indeed round 2. It was Donington Park, and it was commentated by John Wright, myself, and of course Bailey Smith. We are, for this 7-week series, very proud to be sponsored by Grid Finder. It is the easiest way to find online sim racing leagues for a set of course of competition, iRacing, F1, RF2 and many, many more racing sims and games alike. You can find leagues in the UK, USA, Australia and more. Head to gridfinder.com. It's grid-finder.com, sorry. Where you will find ourselves, SOP Motorsport, as well as many, many others. Alternatively, if you have a league or a community yourself and you're watching this, get yourself signed up. Go onto the website and join the other 1,000 leagues currently registered. Grid Finder, find your place on the grid. And we have certainly found ourselves our place here in the commentary booth for the PC races. Bailey, the guys in the PC absolutely putting on a show, trying to keep up with their console brethren. But yeah, that's a tough one to call. That was a good one tonight.
It was. And yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that watched, really, because that was it was a good one. It was full of action, and yeah, no. I don't know if it's still at the bottom left side of the screen. It should say hashtag BSOP. If you have watched the stream, please hashtag it, tweet it, Instagram it, Facebook it, whatever you need to do. Get the word out. Hashtag BSOP. Get the word. Use the hashtag in your posts. If you're a driver, if you've got any videos you'd like to post, hashtag it so we can see it. Yeah, good stuff.
Yes, indeed. Get involved with all that good stuff. Let me see if I can. Oh, tell you what, if I do that. That looks much better. There we go. British CT Champion sponsored by Grid Finder. We will work on the PC next week. As you say, I hope you did enjoy the racing tonight. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast and the pictures that we brought you. We will be back next Wednesday with round 2 at some course called Brands Hatch.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds slightly familiar. That is, of course, March the 17th. Later on tonight on the Twitch channel here, you can watch the Americans. That's right, we've got our American brethren. We will be having a Dark Knight series. I believe it's the Dark Knight series that starts tonight. So you can expect to see that race covered on the SOP channel this evening. Today is Wednesday, which means we will be back again on Saturday night for the Coach Dave Academy event.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So make sure you get involved with that as well. If you want to get involved,
Absolutely.
do sign up at SOP Motorsports on Discord, and you can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. So thank you once again to everyone that watched. We hope to see you again here soon. It's a good night from Bailey.
Good night, Bailey.
And it's a good night from me. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all for watching, and good night.